As the mayor of the town of Clayton, I'd like to call this Clayton Town Council regular meeting to order. I ask you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's pray. Most gracious and heavenly Father, we pause to give you thanks for the many blessings of this day. And we ask, Lord, now that you be with us as we proceed with the business for the town of Clayton. For it's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Do we have any adjustments to the agenda?
Sorry about that. One adjustment this evening. We'd like to please move item 3C to 9A.
All right. Any others?
Mr. Mayor, I have a comment about that item. I've discussed that with legal counsel, and it is appropriate for me to recuse myself, so I will not be voting on that one.
Okay. Noted. Thank you. All right. Any other adjustments or amendments? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
All right.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval of the agenda. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Up next is your consent agenda.
Motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Up next will be introduction and special presentation. Tonight, Customer Service Day proclamation, and I'd like to give the floor to Councilmember Williams.
Good evening, Mayor, Town Council. Town of Clayton Proclamation, Customer Service Day. Whereas Customer Service Day is a celebration that recognizes and appreciates the hard work of those in customer service roles. And whereas it is a way to show appreciation for the individuals who go out of their way to ensure customers have a positive experience. And whereas excellent customer service can help strengthen relationships with current customers, as well as attract potential new ones. By showing how much you value your customer through providing exceptional support, you can build higher levels of trust and loyalty between them and the organization. And whereas having great customer service means incorporating all departments into the process, from sales to product development to operations. And whereas this collaboration allows for more effective communication internally by creating smoother processes, resulting in better and faster resolution of matters related to customers. Now, therefore, on behalf of the Clayton Town Council, we hereby proclaim Saturday, January 17, 2026, as Customer Service Day. Proclaimed by the Clayton Town Council this, the 5th day of January, 2026. Joe McLeod, Mayor.
All right, and at this time, if we could get our customer service team to come down front, and Councilmember Williams would like to present this proclamation to y'all. And just our way of saying thank you so much for the good work you do every day for the citizens of Clayton. Awesome. Up next, under new business, is the 2025-135 ANX Hebner Mayo Properties Resolution to authorize clerk to investigate sufficiency and schedule the public hearing.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. This action, we're requesting on behalf of the applicant to schedule the public hearing to be held on February 2nd for your meeting. So this passing of this resolution will just require one correction, with the resolution's date being changed from the 20th of January to February 2nd of 2026.
All right. So that's,
So I'd like to make adoption of resolution number 2025-03 and 2025-04.
Second.
all right, we have a motion and a second for the adoption of resolution 2025-03 and 2025-04 with the change of date to February 2nd. Correct? Yes. All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Up next will be the Cape Fear Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council and staff. The primary purpose of hazard mitigation plan is to identify risk and vulnerabilities associated with natural and man-made disasters. Develop strategies to reduce those risks and increase community resilience from future disasters. Under the Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000, all government entities are required to adopt hazard mitigation plans in order to remain eligible for federal disaster-related funding programs. These plans are updated and adopted by every jurisdiction every 5 years. The Town of Clayton, and in collaboration with Johnston County, surrounding counties, and municipalities, participate in the development of the Cape Fear Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan, which has undergone its 5th update since it was originally established. The update process consists of a community-level review of assessment of hazards and potential impacts, a review of capabilities, updates to mitigation goals and action items established and identified in previous plans, along with evolving hazards and community priorities. The adoption of this plan is essential to the Town of Clayton for protecting the town, strengthening resiliency, and access to potential mitigation funding. It is the recommendation of staff that council adopt the Cape Fear Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan, and staff is on site for any questions.
All right, thank you, Deputy Chief. Any questions or comments? All right, if not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to, whatever the word is, just went right out of my head.
Make a motion to adopt.
Thank you. Make a motion to adopt the resolution number 2026-01.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the adoption of resolution 2026-01. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, and motion carries.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Up next will be public comment. Anyone wish to speak, please step forward and state your name for the record.
Happy New Year, everybody. John
Happy New Year.
Scarpa, 1304 News Ridge Drive, Clayton, North Carolina. I won't take up much of your time, but there's two issues that I wanted to discuss very quickly. One is, it has come to my attention through my own senses that every time I drive down 42 past the News River, there is a stench that has been coming from there. It's a terrible odor, and it smells to me like there's some pollution going on upstream. So I thought it might be something that the council would take into consideration, to just adopt a resolution to suggest to the North Carolina Department of Environmental Conservation to monitor the situation and give us a report back on whether or not there's been any recent spills or anything like that. I don't know if there is already a mechanism for doing that, but it's something I think that might be looked into, since a lot of our drinking water also comes from that same source. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is, it has recently come to my attention that the senior center in our town is woefully inadequate. I've had the privilege of working with a group called Seniors Helping Seniors, and my client was somebody who lives in Wake Forest. If you've ever been to the Wake Forest Senior Center, it's a model. It's beautiful. But Wake Forest isn't as good as Clayton. We're a much better town. We can do much better than we've already done. So I know that we have a new facility that's opening up for everybody, but I'm thinking that perhaps something more could be done just for seniors, because we make a substantial part of the. I know I look like I'm in my 20s, but I'm actually a senior citizen, have been for quite a while. So perhaps we can get together an ad hoc committee to see what might be done to address more closely to the community senior issues. I don't know, Mr. Mayor and council members, when's the last time you were to the current senior center that we have? But there are nice people there who are trying to do a good job, but the problem is the facility is woefully inadequate. I watched as they had to move everything in order to accommodate just people learning, practicing drumming and things like that for us senior citizens to have a little exercise. So something needs to be done, because we can't allow Wake Forest to be better than us in anything. Okay?
Well, it's really more than that. So the council, the town did purchase the gym. It is going to be for seniors. That's the first priority. But because there are not a lot of seniors out late afternoon and evening, right, therefore it would lend itself to full utilization if it became more of a multi-generational concept where it could be utilized after hours when seniors would not be functioning. But the purpose of purchasing the facility was to be able to support the growth, to be able to expand the educational and the outreach opportunities for seniors, to be able to have more space so they don't have to, like at Azalea Village, they're having to tear down the tables from the craft and restructure the tables for the lunch. They're in a very confined space. Parking is super limited, all that. So
Mayor?
council is really working hard towards just that goal.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I think you're actually spot on. The only other thing I would add to that is that I did speak to the people over at the senior center that exists now. I'm volunteering over there to deliver meals at least twice a week. They were saying, and I don't want to speak for them, this is my interpretation of what they were reporting to me, was that there was some kind of impediment to their cooperating with us more because they can't get space over there, which they would like at the gym, because of some impediment in our rules, which say that you can't serve somebody from outside of Clayton. I don't know the particulars of that, but I think maybe somebody could address it with them, because they appear to be under a misapprehension from your head shake. I just want to say once again to the newly elected, congratulations, and Mr. Mayor, congratulations on another year. 2026 is going to be a great year for Clayton. And with your leadership, I'm sure we're going to go far and fast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Happy New Year. Anyone else?
Hi, good evening. David Stamp, 465 Rolling Meadows Drive. I just have a question. With all the expansion on 70, US 70 business, and considering the fact that how big like Nova Nordisk has become, Grifols has become, and everything else, why is it that with all that commercial, there's no hotels for people? And I'm not talking 5-star, I'm talking, especially with these big places, they have executives that they want to have come in. There's no place for them to stay. And it was just a question, why is it that with all that commercial development, we don't have anything even like a comfort, we have the Comfort Inn, I don't know how good it is, but there's nothing from anybody else.
Right. We're all looking for where's Joe, our economic developer, because he is all in the throes of working towards continuing to figure out hospitality, the ability to stay in Clayton overnight, having more than one hotel here in the town of Clayton to help support business and industry, and really families who have people coming to visit and coming for weddings and like the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
So there's a lot of reasoning behind why it's not here. And one is, cost. Two is, competitive nature. So we have, 5 miles out at 4042,
Yeah.
a number of hotels, right here at Jones Sausage Road and 40 and 70, a brand new hotel has just gone up. So there's a lot of reasons why we're not there yet. But we definitely have our eye on it. But if you know anybody that wants to invest 8 or 10 million and put in a hotel in Clayton, we'd be happy to talk to them.
Like I said, it was just a curiosity because when I have my family come down from Connecticut,
Yes.
if they can't stay with me, they've got to stay a half an hour away.
Yes. And, and it's true. Like you either got to go out to 4042 or you got to go back into Garner or even downtown Raleigh. Right. And then the commute.
Yep.
Yeah. No, we would love to see nothing more than that. Absolutely.
I'm sorry, what?
We do have a great bed and breakfast.
Oh, McQuaid? Is that what it is?
McWade Inn. Yes.
McQuaid Inn. Is that actually a B&B now? I thought it was just an inn.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know it was a B&B. I thought it was just an inn, but that's all right.
Well, Mr. Mayor, if you will, and I know Joe's not here, but, or he stepped out. We have been working to get an updated hotel study for our area to hopefully be able to attract additional hotels. There was the last one that was done, unfortunately, was done tail end of 2019, coming into 2020. Tail end of 2020, coming into 2021. At the time, some of those big groups that you were talking about, the Griffles and Novos and Caterpillars, at that time with COVID, travel was unfortunately pretty much shut down. And so at the time, the market study did not bear enough guaranteed nights for hotels to look for investment at that time. Clayton has grown. Our industrial partners have grown as well. So Joe, our economic development director, has actually been working on getting an updated hotel study for us so that we can show that we have the demographics and the demand for additional hotels. We've actually got 2 developers in town that have reserved, if you want to call it that, portions of their development with the hope that they can attract them to their hotel. So certainly working on it. And
Okay. It was just a curiosity question because
No, it's a great question.
But the other one is
Thank
there's
you.
no new car dealerships, but that's another question. Thank you for.
Yes, sir.
also working on that.
Anyone else?
Good evening, Mayor and Town
evening.
Council. How are you guys doing?
Good, thank you.
My name is Kamitha Fullwood. I actually work at your Johnston County Public Health Department up in Smithfield. I am the population health officer there. I am here today just to share with everyone here in Clayton some information about some upcoming classes that we have. So strictly informative. I just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of the services and the programs we have. So we do have a pre-diabetes program that is scheduled to start very soon. So if there's any residents that are impacted by pre-diabetes, we'd love to have them. It is free. We also have some free nutrition, healthy eating programs that are also scheduled. In addition to that, we will be planning a Narcan training here shortly using our opioid settlement funds. So if anyone here in the town of Clayton is interested in getting trained on how to utilize Narcan in their community or even with their family, we'd be very happy to have them. I have some packets here that disclose some other free classes that we are also hosting at the health department or in community locations, also focused around mental health first aid. So I just wanted to come here today and just make sure I share that information. I will be attending some other meetings here in the town of Clayton, just making sure all of our residents have access to the education that they would like. Thank you so much.
That's fantastic. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
If you would give the information that you brought to our communications director, that will allow them to help us get the word out on social media, providing links and all that kind of good stuff for folks.
Thank you so
It's a
much.
great, public service for you to come out tonight and create awareness.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, no one else wishing to speak. I will close public comment and start with staff reports, beginning with the manager.
A couple quick items tonight. One, just want to thank everybody that came out for the ribbon cutting out at Town of Clayton Sinclair Park today for the new playground. That was another great geo bond project that we were able to complete as of today. And so now all of our existing playgrounds have been refreshed in some way, shape, or form over the last 5 years. So great accomplishment there, and appreciate all the support on that. Second thing is more of a public service announcement. With the construction at the high school getting ready to kick off here, there will actually be some transportation changes, particularly with the bus routing. That is going to be starting tomorrow, and I'm looking at Chief Turner to make sure I don't miss any of the details. So I believe buses will now be exiting out onto Robertson, so there will be a little bit of a different look and feel to that with the bus traffic. So please bear with us as that kind of settles in. We'll be looking, working closely with the school to tweak any adjustments on that if needed. And with that, I think I'm good for now, other than to say Happy New Year to everybody.
And I know this is covered, but it really sparked, once all these school buses started heading south on Robertson Street, and what if we get a fire call, and how does all of that? I mean, I'm sure you guys have already planned for all of that. I hope you have. You always say plan for the worst, right?
Well, that's what I was going to say. So there has been a lot of conversations. I think the meeting was today. Our fire staff, police were there, representatives of the school and the contractors. So we are prepared, knowing how they are intending to move the buses in and out. We will, well, mainly out at this point would be the effect. But certainly we will continue to monitor it and make sure that our responses are not impacted by doing it.
It's part of growth, right? And it's frustrating for us when we're trying to get to an emergency. I think you'll see in the budget next year some traffic preemption project that will allow us to be able to navigate the streets safer, that will allow us to be able to command intersections for fire and police going forward. If we don't get a handle on it now, it's just going to get worse. So we are monitoring that. We are planning for that, and so there's options and systems out there that help us navigate streets safer with fire apparatus and police cars, and we just got to get there. But we'll make sure our staff are aware about the times of the buses and to take alternate routes when it makes sense. Okay. But Robertson Street is not a good situation right now in the afternoons, and so it requires.
That's what sparked the concern for me. That whole intersection and street is a nightmare a lot.
Yeah.
And now, if all of the school buses are going to be exiting onto Robertson Street, that's a real concern and a red flag, not only for just immediately part of Robertson Street, but particularly at the intersection of 70 with cars turning this way and that way. And
well, it requires us to go left of center, which is a concern for me. Anytime we're operating in a opposing lane of traffic, is that, and And the motoring public doesn't always know what to do.
No?
And so hopefully in the future, as the traffic situation grows more in Clayton, is that when we come out and we hit Robertson, is that we're able to control the lights and give us safe passage.
Are we currently not available to control the lights?
We have one preempted intersection, and it is Robertson at Clayton Boulevard, but the problem is that it's old technology. It is infrared instead of GPS. So it's line of sight, which means we have to be in a certain distance to the sensor, and traffic's backing up well past the sensor. So with new technology, you use GPS, and it activates well ahead of when you need to be there. And it's a smart system so that if we turn our left turn signal on, it stops traffic in all directions, and there's a left turning lane, it moves traffic in the left turning lane out of our way and keeps other traffic still. So it's past due.
Yeah.
But there's something we're looking at. I've spoke with the manager about it in the upcoming budget to get us started that way.
Yeah. If there's any such thing as a fast track, let's get that on a fast track or a faster track.
You're speaking my language.
Okay. Well, it's a real concern for me, right? Because if you got to come to Smith Street, you might not come down Second. You may have to go to 70.
Well,
my house is going to be on fire. before
It's
you
there,
get
and I don't know how often y'all are on 42 by Station 2, but when traffic is backing up from Clayton Boulevard all the way past the fire station,
Correct.
2 lanes, it really inhibits our emergency response capabilities, and it puts the motoring public in bigger danger when we get to an intersection and they're still coming through and we're trying to proceed through. So it is a concern of ours, and we're working in that direction.
Awesome. Thanks, Chief.
So Chief, and I know we've been told this, but just refresh my memory, the construction of the high school is going to take how long approximately? Have we got a forecast on that?
So I believe it's 2 years. They're starting now, obviously, to construct the facility on the back portion of the property. I believe that would give them 2 school years to then, 2 school years, might be 1. The summer after the following school year, once the kids go out of school, that's when they'll demo the old building and turn that into the parking lots and all that. But I believe it's 1.5 to 2 years. I'm not sure, Jonathan, if you've heard anything different. So it's about 1.5 to 2 years is what they're expecting. I know they have a hard date, but I can get you the exact dates.
So we're figuring at least 2, because you're going to look at whether that we're going to be dealing with this critical issue at the very least. Probably more than that. Okay, thank you.
All right. Anything else, Rich? All right. Town attorney, town clerk.
So tonight I wanted to present a presentation that outlines our transition from iCompass to Civic Clerk, which is our agenda and minutes software. And we'll also discuss the launch of our new public records request portal. The goal here is to maintain continuity, improve public access, and streamline internal workflows. Okay. Our current system has served the town well for many years. However, resident expectations and modern web standards have evolved, especially around the search, mobile access, and how easily documents can be found. So internally, we need a more efficient publishing workflow and tighter integration with the town website. Thanks. So 4 major changes are happening. First, agendas and minutes will be created and published in Civic Clerk moving forward. And tonight's meeting agenda was the first published with this new software. Second, we will implement a dedicated public records request through Next Request for more consistent intake and tracking. Third, meeting content will integrate better with the town website and its search tools, so residents can find what they need to find faster. And finally, we'll centralize access so agendas, minutes, and meeting videos are easier to locate in one place. And to be clear, this is a system change, not a change to how council conducts meetings. Meeting schedules and formats remain the same. Legal notice and posting requirements remain the same. Council review and approval workflows will remain similar, and the public will continue to have access to meeting information and videos. Historical records will be preserved and migrated into the new system. Nothing will be lost. This transition brings concrete improvements for both public and staff. Residents will get faster, more accurate search and better organization of documents. Meeting videos will be linked directly within the meeting record, reducing any confusion. The platform is more mobile-friendly and supports accessibility best practices. Internally, staff will have fewer manual steps, clearer workflows, and faster publishing. As for our public records, we are launching a dedicated online portal that improves transparency and service. Residents will be able to submit requests through one consistent process and receive clearer status updates. Internally, staff will have improved tracking, assignment, documentation, and reporting, supporting compliance and reducing duplicate or incomplete requests. And our launch target date is April 1st, 2026 for this portal. Excuse me. So here is our project timeline. The clerk's office and communication department have been working on this since January of 2025. We've used phases to minimize disruption, keep public access intact, and allow quality checks throughout. And like I mentioned earlier, historical records will not be lost. We will migrate those in batches, and that should be completed by June 30th of 2026. So some challenges, research and solution. Phase one, we've, like I said, our clerk's office and communication department have focused on identifying pain points and selecting the best long-term solution. We've had difficulty searching across separate platforms, and public records demand has increased. We also identified workflow and efficiency improvements needed for staff. The Civic Plus offers an integrated ecosystem that supports the agendas, minutes, and public records tool working together. And I just wanted to let you know of our influx of our public records. In 2024, we had 231. 2025, we had 313, which is about a 35% increase. And I will say, excuse me, that those requests have become more involved, more in depth of the request. So we decided to get attorney review involved in some of these requests that have been asked. A lot of them have redaction that we have to go through and make sure we've redacted any confidential information. So the number has increased, but the involvement in each request has become substantially more involved. So phase two, we covered detailed planning and implementation work. We built the project plan and timeline, coordinated with the vendor implementation team, and defined internal roles and responsibilities. Phase three was our go live for new meetings, which was, like I said, today was our first meeting with Civic Plus for the agenda. We will verify the town website search is indexing the new pages so residents can find the content quickly. iCompass will remain available in a read-only mode during the migration period so public and staff can still access the historical information without any interruption. And phase four is the historical records migration. Like I said, we'll migrate the agendas, minutes, and supporting attachments from iCompass to Civic Plus in batches with a completion date of June 30th, 2026. And our public records system launch is on target for April 1st, 2026. And with that, I will take any questions.
Okay. Any questions or comments?
I've got a question about the public information requests. So could you go into a little more detail about, you sort of touched on what's happening now with public information requests and what you're seeing in the length of time it's taking you and what's complicating that? And is this system going to make that a more, not transparent, it's not the right word, but a more efficient response opportunity for you? Or is just the complication of what's being requested and the detail of information is causing your issue?
Right. Well, it's not uncommon lately for the clerk's office to receive a request that is 4 and 5 parts. Different requests in one big request, which involves different departments. And then, like I said, attorney review.
Is there a time frame that you're looking at now on average based on there being one request coming in with multiples in it? Is there, that complicates things and creates a time frame issue for you as well?
Correct. So before, we would try to stick to a 10 business day turnaround time for our requests. I had to bump that up to 30 days just with the amount of requests we had in-house. A lot of times people don't realize I have to reach out to several different staff members, and, we all have to fit that into our daily routine of pulling these records. And it's not as easy as hitting a search button, and it populates these records. A lot of times we have to manually dig through our files to retrieve these documents. So as of right now, our public records turnaround time is about a month and a half. And that's just staff time. And that, I can't speak for attorney review time.
On average, and I know this is going to be hard because each request is different, so it involves more, but I had no idea. So how many staff people are you including in this on average with a request? So it's not just you.
No, it's not just the clerk's office. A lot of times planning's involved, engineering, communications. Pretty much we've been hitting on all departments.
Wow.
So it's these, most of them lately are involved, and it just takes a lot of participation from all departments.
That's just good to know and understanding what the response is and how involved it is. Thank you.
Mr. Casey.
I had a question, Ruth, kind of made my mind think, Councilwoman Ruth. This may be a question more to the attorney. Is there a time frame? Are we legally bound by public information request where we have to give a response back?
No, there's not a specific time frame.
Is there a average, or is there a kind of best practice or anything like that either?
As soon as you can, as soon as it's practical, and that depends on the nature of the request and the scope of the request and what's involved in compiling the records.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, thank you. I don't have any more questions.
Well, and I was just going to add, for Heidi's sake, piggybacking on some of our conversation earlier today with the IT changes that we've had and all that. For instance, just on like emails and all that, we have an email archiver that was basically we started in late 2018, I believe it is. So for the clerk's office to investigate some of that stuff, searching the keywords and all that is a pretty straightforward process. The problem we also have, though, is if you want information, I'll say prior to that 2018 date, now there's a whole lot of current and former staff individual files, I'll say, that have to then be gone through. So now IT has to go through each of those, and you have to search and you have to figure out who was here during that time, and they have to go through separate PST files for each of those folks. So I think to the attorney's point, depending on what the request is really what's going to drive how long it's going to take and how many different hands are going to have to put they're going to have to touch it to look at it. So like even for me, if there's something that is asked for me, since I'm here, started here prior to the 2018 archiving, there's portions of things Heidi can get directly, but there's other stuff that I have to then go through and search my individual files for to be able to provide to her. And then that's subject to workload across the board. So again, it does take a little bit of time. And then also to her point about redacting and all that, there are certain little quirks, with certain different statutes. I'm an engineer, so I know specifically anytime we have something that has an engineer or architect seal on it, the clerk's office has to go page by page by page by page and redact that seal before they can send it out the door. That all takes time. Unfortunately, it's not a simple, get it done button or whatever you want to call it. So I appreciate everything Heidi does. And I know some of our staff sometimes probably get annoyed, and I know she probably gets frustrated with not being able to get as timely of a response as we'd like to get to. But there is a lot of effort that does go into it for us to be able to complete those searches, and appreciate the clerk's office for handling all that.
So just to go over that one more time. So once you're done with getting the information together based on the request, and you've done that and completed that, then it's got to go to the attorney to be reviewed by you to make sure there's no information in it that is sensitive or.
We do a privilege and confidentiality.
Thank you. On every request.
No, not on
Okay.
every request, only on ones that maybe the clerk's radar go up that some of this may be privileged or confidential. And then I think this is accurate, that the clerk is the gatekeeper on that and decides this needs to go for legal review or not.
That's correct. I will say with our new software, I think the other day we had a site plan set, and I think it had 95 pages that I had to individually redact that seal off 95 pages. And our computers don't like that. Sometimes it gets confused, it locks up. So that's a whole nother set of issues. But with the next request, I can have it identify the seal and it'll redact it in one shot. So that's a lifesaver there. So I'm excited about this software program. So.
Anyone else? All right. Any other staff? All right. If not, I'll jump down to mayor and council comments. Mr. Casey.
I have a couple things. Thank you, Mayor. One of the, on the consent agenda tonight, there was something regarding changing the bylaws to the Downtown Development Board. I just want everybody to know that, I had a couple people reach out to me asking questions about that. Basically what, in my mind, what that redaction of some of those committees were, doesn't mean that the intent or the purpose is going away. It's just specifically removing those committees listed in the bylaws. That doesn't mean that we're not going to have committees that have some of the same functionality of it, but it just doesn't bind us. And hopefully it gives us a little bit more flexibility to pursue opportunities within that board. Otherwise, me intentionally, hopefully, if we decided we want to be a part of the Main Street program in the future, I would hope we would try to take another shot at it. We are fortunate enough to have somebody in the community that is part of that program that lives very near here. So anyway, that's just kind of my thoughts on that. I didn't want to pull it off the consent agenda. I just wanted to kind of add some more context to that. Other thing I want to address, Mr. Scarpa, too. I hear you loud and clear about the senior center. I was over there 3 weeks ago. For us, this has been something that's been on our radar and been a mission for a while. There's a lot of different moving parts from a lot of different groups, not only just the town of Clayton. It's going to take a village to make that happen. We tried to make a very strong first step with that here recently. And I just, I always try to go over there and you'll hear a rumor or you'll hear something else. I mean, I've tried to, educate and pass the information along to them. It's on our radar. We're working towards it. We just need patience and some understanding, and not frustration, but patience and understanding, knowing that it's not just us, it's others as well. And the mayor hit up on some good points too about, it being, available for some other other than seniors too. But the seniors is very important to me, and I can't speak for those on council, but I imagine it's going to be very, very important for them too. Last thing I had, and this is for the town manager. I know recently we had some land and building acquisitions. I've had something here, I think the Johnstonian or the JOCO report or something like that. Can we get maybe to kind of educate the community, you know, kind of an outline of what our purpose and intent of that is in an upcoming meeting? I've had a few people ask questions about, like, why is the town doing this or why is the town doing that? And I think it's just good to highlight those acquisitions so the community knows kind of what our intent is. And I don't want, you know, rumors to be floating around on that. So thank you. That's all I have.
Yeah, if you want a quick response there, yes. So we can certainly bring that back at another meeting, the Cliff Notes version of it. Several of those properties essentially fast track what were different capital projects that we had already planned. For instance, the property on Atkinson Street, one of our top 10 projects over the next 5 years was intended to be construction of a new warehouse. With that property coming available, we were able to actually go ahead and purchase said warehouse. With that, it had a significant amount of office space with it. So with the growth that we've seen here over the last several years, not just in the community itself, but within the organization, that additional office space will now be able to utilize and house many of those different the departments, the growth in those departments at the operations center. The other office space, again, very similarly, town hall, we are busting at the seams here. We do not have enough room to fill, if we fill all the open positions that we have currently, we are out of space. And so those other office buildings were utilized for that. But we can certainly bring back a more specific kind of building by building or property by property explanation at a future date.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. Thank you. I appreciate the summation there, but I think something more detailed would be really appreciated.
Anyone else?
Mayor, I'd like to say,
Yes.
I just want to say a Happy New Year to all. I hope that you had a wonderful holiday and we're looking forward to a wonderful 2026. So this is my greeting to you. Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to go into closed session to discuss economic development.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Please clear the room.
Mayor, if by consent, we could have the minutes reflect that the closed session was for economic development and a property acquisition matter.
Thank you for the clarification. Awesome. Is there any other business to come before this council? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion. Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Good night.